Okay, good day everyone. Today I am going to show you an example how item analysis is done. So I am going to simulate here uh, given the data that we had uh, during the first quiz that we have. So I'm going to use the data of our first quiz for the item analysis. Okay. Um, why do we need to do item analysis? By the way, before we are going to answer that, so let us um, define first what is item analysis. So when we say item analysis refers to the process of assessing the quality and utility of the test item for examining the student's response to each item. So this process can be used to identify whether an item that are deficient in some way, thus paving the way to improve or eliminate them, with the result being a better overall test. So we do item analysis so that we can have a better test item. So before we are going to get a final final test, so we are going to perform item analysis. So we have a series of tests, dummy tests, a trial test, no, so that uh, we can use the data of our tests. Then we perform item analysis to produce a quality test items. Okay, this is not really done for classroom assessment, but if you are going to use what's this, a standardized test, standardized assessment. When we say standardized, no, that is something that is used in our periodical exams, in our um, board exams, no, the national achievement tests. So those tests run through item analysis. Okay. So I am going to I have here the questions that we have last time. We are going to perform item analysis uh, of this test. So these are the tests. There are 10 items of them. So we are going to perform. Uh, there are two types of item analysis. One is qualitative and the other is quantitative. So what I'm going to show you now is the quantitative item analysis. Okay, so I'm going to proceed now with the steps in the item analysis. So I'm going now to the steps. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, this is for the norm reference test. There are two kinds of, in terms of comparison. So there are two kinds. There is what we call norm reference. There's item analysis for norm reference, and there's also item analysis for the criterion reference. So the common one is the norm reference test. Okay, so here is the first step in finding in the item analysis. No? So first we are going to arrange the test scores from the highest to lowest. So I'm going to use this data here. Okay, let us try to make use this data. There are I have here, there are 127. Yes, so we have 127. Am I right? 127. 127 respondents for this test. No? So first thing is I'm going to arrange this first into in ascending order. So I have here to arrange that. I'm going to click data. Then, sorry. So first I am going to highlight all of this. So let's highlight all of this. Then going to um, really need to, yes, here. So I am going to sort them by score. Then from largest to smallest. Okay, I guess here. Largest to smallest. So here it's arranged, no? So there are those who have got a perfect score. There are those who also have the lower score. Then next step is we are going to identify the upper 30% and the lower 30%. Okay. In the usual, most of the books said 27%, now upper 27% and lower 27%. But if you have small data, let's say you have 50 students, so you can make use of 30% and 30%. Since I have more data here, I have more respondents, so I'm going to use 27%, so upper 27% and lower 27%. So after we are going to identify the lower 27 and upper 27, we are not going to include the average, the middle part. Okay, so to do that, I am going to highlight uh, the upper 27% and the lower 27%. So to do that, I will just make use of, should I do this? Can I minimize this a bit? So I need to do this one, conditional formatting. I will just make use of by percentage. So okay, I will click here 27. So the red one is the 27. Then again, I am going to uh, highlight again the lower 27%. So I will use bottom, then 27%. And maybe I will just use yellow for that one. So here are the upper 27% of the data of the respondents or the test takers, and the lower 27%. Okay, so I am going to ignore the average one. We are not going to include the average in our test, in our item analysis. So I am going to copy this part. So I am going to copy this. from here. So copy. And I will place it here. Okay. So this is our upper 27%. So I will just leave maybe 6 spaces for our bottom 27%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here I will place here the bottom 27%. So I will go back to the first sheet and I will copy this one. So if you're using Excel, so it could item analysis will be easier for you, no? Because the computation, most of the computation, Excel will do it for you. But you can do this manually, but it will really take time for you to do that. So I will copy and paste. So we have identified the upper 27%, lower 27%, and um, then we are going to omit the average. Then okay, we really need to count the upper 27% and upper and the lower 27%. Okay, so it doesn't really necessary that you have equal. Okay, because in item though you get the 27%, but there are still those more than there are some who get equal scores. So though it's more than the 27%, so you really have to include them. You really have to include them because you have there are those scores who have the same. So we have to include the same scores. Okay. So now to count this, I will not count it individually. So I will just let Excel count the respondents. So I will just click count A. Count A is just it will just count all those what's this cells uh, with filled with text or numbers. No? So that is for count A. Oh, sorry. Something wrong in my formula. There you are. So we have 41. Then for the lower 27%, so I can have count A also. So count A, just simply count the non-blank cells. No? So the non-blank cells, so it will count all the non-blank cells. So for this part, so here, so though we say it should be upper 27% but lower 27%, but since in the lower, at the bottom 27%, there are those who have there are more students who have equal scores. So if you try to look at here, so there are many students who got a score of 4, rather than in the upper one, there are only fewer who got the score of 6, the lowest of the upper. Here there are more of the highest of the lower. But anyway, So let's try to continue. So let's go to the next step. Okay, so the next step is we are going to compute for the difficulty index and the discrimination index. So difficulty index is just simply the proportion of the students who got the item correctly. No? It's a proportion of students who got the item correctly. So the formula for that is the number of students who got the answer correct divided by the total number of students who attempted the test item. Okay, so to do that, okay, I'm going to use Excel again. Let us say for this is item 1 here. This cell is item 1. I'll just highlight this. Okay, this cell is for item 1. The answer for item 1 is, okay, let's go back to our uh, question. So the answer here is letter A, which is assessment. So we are going to count all who answered letter A in item 1. Okay, so to do that, we are going to count. We're going to use count if. So, so I'm going to highlight all of this. So count if just simply count all the cells containing the cell that you wanted to count, or the item that you want to count. So the criteria here, so since we are going to look for those who answered letter A, which is assessment, so I will just, for our criteria, I will just click here, this one, the word assessment, and automatically it will just count 34. So for here, for the upper group, there are 34 students who answered. Out of 41, there are 34 who answered letter A. Oh, sorry, I have to add another slide here. We have the answer supposedly here. This is total. So total number of students in the upper group is 41 and lower group is 60. Okay. So the answer here, what was the answer here? It's letter A, no? So I will delete this. Okay. So this is supposed to be letter A. So the next one, we are going to count the number of students who answered letter B. So we are going to do that per item, right? Okay. Where was it? Okay, this one. So again, we are going to, I'll just copy this one and paste. So here, I am going to click those who answered B, which is evaluation. Evaluation. So there are 3 students who answered evaluation. Oh, sorry. Let's go back to that one. So evaluation 3. Then what was our letter C? So letter C is measurement. So let's try to look for that one. So measurement. So again, so you really have to practice. Uh, you really have to practice your Excel skills for this lesson. But you can do this manually actually. I will just choose those who answer measurement here. So there are two students who answered measurement. So there are two. So I will just to make it 41. I will just 34 plus 337 plus 239. So there will be also more or less. No? Okay, so we are done with the upper group. Then let's go now to the lower group. Okay, now we are going to count again the number of students who answered A, B, C, and D for the lower group. So I will just click count if. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of this. There. Then the word assessment. So for the lower group, there are, how much was that? There are 24 students who answered letter A. Then, okay, let's now count. Okay, I will just copy this one. Then I am going to count for evaluation. Those who answered evaluation here, there are 20. This is 20. Then for measurement, I'm going to copy the cell again. For measurement, this one. So we have 9. So we have 9. So there should be, I will just add na lang no, para we can make it short. 24, so 44. 44 plus 9. So definitely this would be 7. Okay, so total would be, should be 101. Okay, I will add this 2 here. Total number of students who answered letter A will be, okay, there are 58. And for letter B, 23, 11 for C, and letter D is 9. Okay. So let us now compute for the difficulty index. Okay. So but before that, okay, try to count now if it's equal to 101. So 58 plus 23, so that is 81. 81 plus 9, that is 90 plus 11, so 101. So correct. So this total adds up to 101. Okay. Now, difficulty index again. So what was that again? Those who got it all correct divided by the total. No? So the total number of students who got it correct is 58. Then we are going to divide that into the total number of students who attempted the test item, which is 101. Okay. So that goes with this one. So this is our difficulty index. Okay. Now we are just going later we will just proceed with the description. Later na later na lang we are going to tackle about the description for the difficulty index. Let us now proceed computing the discrimination index. Okay. So let's go back to the slides. Okay. Okay, this is for test items will be scored more than other than 0 and 1. Oh, this is for problem solving an essay. So I am going to skip that one. Okay, so let's have the discrimination index. We will just take note there are 3 kinds of discrimination. So we have the positive discrimination, the negative discrimination index, and the zero discrimination index. Positive discrimination index is that meaning that there are more students uh, who answered the item correctly in the upper group than the lower group. No, again, there are more students who answered correctly in the upper group than in the lower group. So that is the positive discrimination. While the negative discrimination is that there are more students who answered correctly in the lower group than in the upper group. Okay. Negative discrimination is that there are more students who got the item correct in the lower group than the upper group. Okay, this is the thing that we need to avoid. No. So what is our aim here is that we need to have, for all test items, we need all to have a positive discrimination index. Zero discrimination is that either no one no one of either in the group answered the item correctly, or the number of students who answered correctly in the upper group and in the lower group are equal. So equal ang number of students who got the item correct in the upper group than in the lower group. Equal to the also to the lower group. So this is the for 0 and 1 test item. No? So that is the number of students who got the item correct in the upper group minus the number of items who answered correct in the lower group divided by the number of students in either of the group. So if there are sizes that are unequal, so we are going to choose higher number. Okay, so let us now proceed this one. So again, no, how are we going to compute the number of students who answered correctly in the upper group? Okay, we have 34 minus the number of students who got the item correctly in the lower group divided by, okay, we are going to choose between 41 and 60. Since 60 is the highest or the higher one, so we will just over 60. So the discrimination index now is 0.1667. Okay, later class, no, in the rule of statistics, there are some exemptions for choosing the number of choosing the number of between upper and lower. Okay, usually we choose the upper one, but there are some cases like this one that we really need to get them by proportion. We are going to get the proportion of the students who got it correct in the upper group minus the number of students who got it correct in the lower group. There are times we need to use that one since if you try to look at the difference here, 60 minus 19, uh, uh, 41, which is 19, and that is more than 5%. So that that is too big. uh, The difference is too big. Um, for that cases, fun, we are going to perform uh, atong the usual formula for item analysis. Okay, but for this lesson, I'm going to follow what is on the handouts. Okay. Actually, computed. I already computed all difficulty index and discrimination index for all items from items 1 to 10. And here are the following. Okay. So these are the difficulty index for items 1 to 10 and the discrimination index from items 1 to 10. Now, let's go back to first at the difficulty index. We have here the description. So 0 to 0.25, the test item is very difficult. Then 0.25, 0.75 average. Then above 75, 0.75 is easy. Okay, let us try to uh, write the description of our test item based on these ranges. Okay, so for item 1, this is moderate. Okay, item 2, this is difficult. This is moderate. Okay, this is difficult. Okay, moderate again. Moderate. Most of our test items are moderate enough. Average difficulty. Okay, so here. So those are the description of our test item in terms of difficulty. Now let us try to decide uh, for the test items, which are we are going to retain, which are we going to revise, or which we are going to um, remove. So we are going to follow these ranges, which items we need to reject, accept, and revise. Okay. So this one, so this is accept. So 0.980, so very difficult. So we are going to reject this one. Okay. This is rejected because maybe it was not discussed during the lesson proper. No, it was not covered in the lesson proper. So in uh, creating test items, so we are going to avoid very difficult test items. So we are going to avoid that one. Okay, this one, so we need to do accept. Okay, so it's on the boundary. So we still, though it's difficult, we are going to accept that one. This one is accept, accept, okay, accept, accept, So let us now proceed with the discrimination index. Discrimination index. So here are the description of here are the description. So 0.20, so we are going to 0.20 below. We are going to that's a poor item. So either we reject or revise. And 0.20, 0.29, so we accept that one, though it needs a little improvement. Then 0.30 to 0.39, that's good, already good. Then 0.40 to 1, that is very good. So as much as possible, we need to get a positive discrimination index. Okay, so based on this one, we are going to identify, first the descriptions of muna. So here, this is, what's this? Poor. Okay, this is poor. Okay, this is marginal. What is this again? Oh, okay, marginal. Poor, that is poor. This is poor. Marginal. Actually, if you have a marginal discrimination index, that is already good, no? So it's up to you if you are going to change the option or not. Okay. Okay, so what are the decisions here? Okay, so though it's poor, pero we have here it's accept. We will just do it revise. Okay, revise. Okay, here reject, then poor. So definitely we are going to reject this one. Okay, though it's marginal, accept. So we are going to accept this. Also, this is accepted. So this is quite good item. This one, we will just revise this. Revise without P. Okay, so this is quite good item, so we will just revise this one. That is revise. This one we are going to accept. Okay, revise here. Then this one we're going to accept. Now, so if you try to look at here, so there are test items we revise, there are test items we reject. Try to look at here. Though in our decision, we say we accept this test item in terms of difficulty, but in terms of discrimination, it's poor, so we need to revise. Okay, so what we need to revise here, it's not the question, but the options of the question. So we are going to revise some options in the question. Maybe some options are not that plausible, no? Or the options, the correct answer is too obvious, no? This one, reject, reject. So item number 2 for the next test, so this test item will be removed now, no? So this test item will be removed. Okay, this one is quite good. Item 3 is quite good item, so we are going to accept that test item. Okay, class. I'm going to, let me try to go on. What's this? If there is changes, no, we are going to use proportion minus the proportion. Okay. Um, Description of discrimination. So, katong proportion in the lower group minus proportion in the upper group. So in here one, in here, so I will just simply say 34 over 41 minus 24 over 60. Okay, based on the actual, this kind of test item is very good. No? It's quite good. Okay, let us try this one. Okay, the answer here is D. So I say 27 over 1 minus 14 60. Okay, oh, this is quite good item. Those are very good test item. Okay, so there are really changes. No, you can make use this one, this formula here. Then we minus uh, upper minus lower divided by the highest between the two total, or proportion in the upper group minus proportion in the lower group. But this one here, this column here, it's the most accurate one. Here, I can recommend this one. I will highlight this. Okay. I will just send you a copy of this exercises to you on my drive. I will send this to you. How? So that you can study on the formulas in the formulas I written here in the Excel file. Okay, now let's go proceed now to um, the level of attractiveness of the distractors. Okay, level of attractiveness of distractors. Okay, so this is also an important measure, no? Okay, um, what is something what we need to see here is that um, distractors should distract more on the lower group. So if there are more students choose a wrong answer in the upper group than in the lower group, then that choice or that option is a defective or a defective distractor. So meaning that distractor is not a plausible distractor. No? So take note, the incorrect option should attract less of the upper group than in the lower group. Okay, let us try to check. Let's try to check. Here in item 1, okay, so this is quite good, no? So there are more students who choose the wrong answer in the lower group than in the upper group. So that is a very good item. Also for number 2 and number 3 and so on, you know, and so on. So actually, these are quite good test items. No? Ano, options. Most options here are good. No, they are all plausible. Siguro, we will write to do the remarks. Okay, so we will try to do the remarks. Maybe um, we're going to say improve. Okay, which options here will less likely choose the wrong answer? It's more of C and D. So when we say improve C options C and we'll just improve, not remove. Okay, this one we are going to remove test item. Okay, here which one is the least likely to be chosen? I guess it's letter C. So I say improve option C. Okay, here. Pero if there is an option, no, you just say improve, no, because they are all good. But there is, if there is an option in which, uh, if there is a destructor in which there are more students who choose in the upper group than in the lower group, then that option should be removed or changed. Okay, this one. Uh, oh, actually, this is okay na. Okay, okay, accept pa rin, no? I will say, this is, I will just say, good test item. So accept as well. Say good test item. This one, okay, so I need to revise. So maybe improve option C. Okay, here we need to revise, no? So maybe we can improve, yeah, improve C, B and C. This one, we need, there's a thing that we need to revise. Okay, we need to improve B and B. Okay, this is quite good. This is good test item. This one, we need to improve on option B. This one, so accept, set. So this is good. So that's it. So that's how we do. Okay. Now for the overall test, we are going to what's this? We are going to describe uh, the type of test that you have. We are going to describe in terms of difficulty and discrimination. We can find the average for that one. So I will just say equals average. So the average difficulty of the test will be, okay, so overall, so we have a moderate test items. So for the last quiz, for the 10-item quiz that we have, so we have all moderate test items. Then for in terms of discrimination, okay, so in terms of discrimination, we are going to compute the average one. Okay. So as a whole, okay, in terms of discrimination, we have a poor discrimination index. Okay. So, okay, that's it. Okay, so that's how item analysis is done. Okay, so for the criterion and for those items scored other than 0 and 1, I will just leave that for you to study. Okay, so if you still have more questions, so I want you to comment it to this video, or you may message me through the FB post or through the messenger. Okay, so okay, again, so that's it. So God bless everyone and good luck.